What's up everyone, I am Chris Fowler and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a quick video on how to get started in iRacing. With all the iRacing on TV now and the pro drivers racing, there's a lot of people interested in iRacing and I wanted to help you out. So we're going to tell you what iRacing is, how to get started, how much it costs, all the hardware that you would need, the minimum PC requirements, and everything that you need to get going, get started with iRacing. So stay tuned. Okay, so what is iRacing? iRacing, as you might have seen on TV, is simulation, online simulation racing. It offers some of the best and fastest cars in the industry that you yourself can strap into and race online with others around the world. Now, as you've seen on TV, the pro drivers are racing with this as well. This is about as real as it can get without driving a real car. So why don't we take a look at some of the series and more information about iRacing here. So you can see we have multiple disciplines in iRacing. We got NASCAR, open wheel, sports cars, and dirt. So NASCAR, you have the trucks, Xfinity. NASCAR, you got Wheel and Series. Open wheels, you start all the way at Skip Barber and work your all the way up to F1. And then, of course, you got the sports cars, GT3, GT2, GT1, and prototypes, and as well as the World of Outlaws, the sprint cars, and the late models, and the dirt midget cars. So you got a lot of variety that you can get into and race, and I'll show you the different tracks and cars in just a second. You have team driving, you have 60 cars on track, multi-class racing with the sports cars, uh, and they have the licenses and iRating and things are based on your skill level, so you're racing against people with the same skill level and not some that have been racing forever and are really good, so that the competition is good and fierce, and you have a chance to compete with everyone. So let's take a quick look at the cars here. You can see these are all the different cars that you can strap into and drive and race with everyone. So we have all the NASCARs here, the Ford, the Chevy, the Toyotas. You have late models, super late models, the SK Modified, the Wheel and Series, as well as up here. You got the Legends cars, the older Truck Series cars, the Street Stock cars. So there's a wide variety of NASCARs that you can get into and strap in and go race. The K&N car, which is now the ARCA series, basically. Um, and road racing, you got all kinds of sports cars. You got the V8 supercars, BMWs, the Ferraris, the Audis, the Mercedes. Any car you can think of is pretty much here. Any current car out there now is in here that you can race in. So we'll keep looking here. This is you got the Cadillac, the Mustang, Ford GTR, the Mazda Miata, and the MX-5. You can go race in. Those are the rookie classes. Audi 90 GTO. This is a fun car to drive. And for open wheel, we have the F1s, we have IndyCar, got the Formula 2.0, the F3, the F3.5, the Pro Mazda, the Skip Barber, and we have some Grand Prix legends. We have the Lotus 49 and the 79 that you can get into, and we have some older Indy cars as well, and some different sprint cars. Dirt tracks, we got the sprint cars, the dirt midgets, and late models, super late models. You can race the trucks on dirt as well, just like they do in real life at Eldora. And we have the different prototypes. You got the Porsche, Audi, of course, Chevy Corvette prototype here. Here's the Nissan GTP car. And then we have Rallycross. You can go rallying if you've seen those on TV. The American Rallycross. I think it's changed names now, but they do televise those rallies. They're pretty cool to watch. And they're fun cars to drive. And then you have the Pro Trucks on dirt as well. So a whole variety of cars that you can get into and drive. So, and all of these are laser scanned. So they are down to the finest detail. Every inch of the car is scanned into here. So if you actually had VR goggles, you could look around the car and see everything, every detail in the car. It's all there. It all looks just like what these real cars do. So if you look at all the tracks, there is a ton of tracks you can race on and select. Of course, you got Silverstone, you got the dirt tracks here. Daytona, of course, Nürburgring, 24 Le Mans, Indianapolis, Imola. There's a whole bunch of different tracks that you can get onto. Short ring, short tracks to super speedways to dirt tracks, road courses, you name it. It is all on iRacing. It has to have the largest selection of tracks out there for a sim. It has Sebring. It has all the NASCAR trucks, all the NASCAR tracks. Sorry. So if you want to race the NASCAR, you can race the full series. Every track that NASCAR runs, you can run on iRacing. And they actually have a couple series that follows the real world schedule, so you can check those out. But this is just a long list of all the different tracks, and they do have some tech tracks, which are tracks that aren't fully completed yet, but you can race and drive on those as well if you'd like. So those are the cars and tracks. So let's take a look at the different series that go with these cars and tracks. So the official series that you can race in, of course, you got the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series, which is the Premier Pro Series. Got the A class and the B class, the C class. These are the trucks, the Xfinity, and the NASCAR cars. You got the super late models and the late models. The National Series, which is kind of the ARCA car. And then you have these two down here, the carburetor cup and the pickup truck. We'll talk about this later, but these are iRating and safety rating free, so you can just go race and have fun and not worry about that affecting your safety or iRating. So that's pretty cool to jump into those races anytime in a race. Open wheel, you got the 3.5, the F3 Championship, of course, Legends Championships, and the IndyCar Series right here. I think we're missing all but 2 tracks for the entire IndyCar Series. So if you want to race that as well, you can do that. The Pro Mazda Series, Skip Barber Series, the Formula Out 2.0 as well. The Delar Dash is another one of those fun series where safety and things don't take account. You can just jump in a car and go race, which is really a lot of fun. The different prototype series that you can race in, and then all the sports cars. We got a ton of sports cars series that you can go and hop into and race. Some of them, like the Endurance, is a team series. I believe the 24-hour Le Mans series is team as well. Get a team together and swap drivers and go race. And then, of course, you got dirts. You got the rally cars and the trucks and the sprint cars, the little midget cars, late models and pro late models, and pretty much everything that you could want is all right here in these series. So you see, it's a long list of cars and tracks and official things that you can do and race into. So the next segment, what I'm going to do is talk about the hardware that's needed to run all of this. So stay tuned. Okay, so in this segment, we're going to talk about hardware, the hardware requirements, and what it takes to run iRacing. You'll be surprised that it actually takes a minimum amount of hardware to actually run this. Now you can go from the minimal setup to the biggest setup, from 1 monitor to 3 monitors to all kinds of detail. And there's all kinds of settings within the graphics configurator that you can run to help with your settings to let your PC run. And if it's kind of on a low end or older PC, it may still run iRacing. You may have to turn the graphics down and things, so you can adjust settings within iRacing to make things better for you. But let's look at the minimum requirements here. So it is preferred that you have a wheel. You're going to need pedals. The most common wheel is the G29 now. It was the G27, which is what I'm running, but they have the G29 out now, and I think it's about $300. That's about the cheapest you're going to find. You have Thrustmaster wheels as well, the Fanatec CSR wheel, Fanatec Clubport V2 wheel, and pedals. You can get Fanatec also offers their V3 pedals. They're on the cheaper end. So you can get started pretty cheap, but the G29 wheel comes with pedals for like $300. That's probably your best bargain. And a lot of people and a lot of drivers still use those wheels. Like I said, I still use the G27. I do have different pedals, but I still use the G27 wheel. So you can strap that to your desk and go racing right off the bat. Now they do support controllers. It's not recommended, but they do support it. I don't know anybody who watched the All-Star Series races that actually, I hate to say, use Art Factor, but they did. Jacques Villeneuve was using a laptop running a controller and competing up front. So it can be done. It's definitely not, like I said, it's not recommended, but it'll work until the meantime, until you can get you a wheel and pedals. And then, of course, a monitor. Now, we do support virtual reality, so if you have goggles, you can use those. A lot of people love virtual reality. I have not had the chance to try it out yet. The resolution isn't quite there yet, but I think it's really good. The immersion is definitely there. So and you can look around, you can see the inside of the entire car. It'll look identical to what you would see in the real world. Um, Now the PC requirements. So again, it's not much. Windows 8, Windows 10, 4-core CPU or better. You can, Intel i5, i7. You can see the Ryzen's. 8 gigs of RAM, which isn't a lot, so that's about basic for most PCs. A gaming graphics card with at least 2 gigs of RAM. So that's almost standard these days with video cards. So anything like that. 10 gigs of free disk space. You'll need a little more to add more tracks and cars as you go, but 10 to get started. And it is recommended to have a microphone so that you can chat with people. Now you can see I'm using headsets. I used to have surround sound speakers, and then I used the mono headset just for my spotter and talking. But now I just use a headset for everything. So you can do that. Headsets, what I have, the HyperX Cloud 2s, they're about $100. So it's not really too expensive, but or you could just get a cheap mono headset and some speakers. Those headsets are about $20, and they work great. But once you get here, you can actually you go to iRacing.com and you can click on the membership and hardware requirements, and there's a little you can go and can my system run iRacing, and you can run this. Click on here and check, and it'll take you to this page. You can download the software, and it'll do a quick check. It'll tell you if it will or not run iRacing, and if it can't run iRacing, it'll tell you what needs to be upgraded so that you can run iRacing. But it's just minimum requirements. A single monitor works. I run 327-inch monitors. My PC is 8 years old. It's an i7 2600K, so it's pretty old, but it still runs. I built it when I started iRacing about 8 years ago. I do racing and streaming on it from the same PC at the same time, and I'm doing pretty good with it. It's always nice to have upgrades, but one day. But like I said, an older PC will work great with these guys. But yeah, that's all for hardware requirements. Like I said, you can just come here, get my system run iRacing, do a quick check, and you'll be off. You'll know immediately whether you can run or not, and get going. And you can get going with the cheap. Get a G29, mount it to your desk, and that's all you need. It comes with a set of pedals, and you'll be ready to race. So the next segment, I want to tell you what all this costs. And what's included with your basic membership. Okay, so in this segment, we're going to talk about how much it costs for iRacing, how much is a basic membership, and what is included with that membership. So let's get started. So right now, as of this video, iRacing is actually offering a good discount. So they're offering 50% off for new memberships. So you can see here how much it costs here. 1 month is $650, 3 months is $1650, 1 year is $55, and 2 years is $100. So $55 for 1 year is an amazing deal, actually. So you could, and I'll have a link in my description that you can click on and sign up. So you can just use that link. You'll get 50% off right now. And that's a good deal. Now, iRacing throughout the year runs renewal memberships discounts. Most of those discounts are on Black Friday, but throughout the year they'll run other discounts and to renew. So that's what I do. I usually do a 2-year for $100 and take care for 2 years. $100 is a great deal for what you get. So it's not a bad price, but let's check out what you get it with your basic. So if you signed up for $55 for 1 year, what do you get with that basic membership? And you'll get over 80 licensed and laser scan race cars available, but you'll get 26 cars that are included. So these are the cars that are included with your membership: the Cadillac, an older Indy car, the Legends car, street stocks. You get a wide variety of cars. The 2011 Indy car, the Impalas, trucks, get a prototype, the Radical, or you get a rally car as well. So you can see you get the Pro 2 light truck. So you can go race dirt, you can race NASCAR, you can race open wheel, you can go race anything at this point with just this set. So you get 26 cars are included with your basic membership. So let's look at the tracks. There's 21 different tracks that you get included with your basic membership. And these are those tracks you get: Laguna, Charlotte, Silverstone. You get some dirt tracks, South Boston, Okayama, USA, Lime Rock. So you get some short tracks, you get some speedways, you get some dirt, you get some road courses. So you get a wide variety of tracks that'll get you started with your membership. But that's it. Now, moving forward, if you were to sign up and you wanted to race in different series, the cars are $11.95 each and tracks are $11.95 each. Now the trick is to buy in bulk. So if you found a series that you wanted to race in for the seasons are 12 weeks. So you'll get the season. The schedule comes out a couple weeks before the season starts. So you'll know what you'll need to race for that season, and you just buy all the tracks at once, and you'll get a larger discount. So the more you buy, the bigger your discount's going to be. So always try to buy in bulk if you're going to do something. So buy your car and all the tracks it needed for that season in one. That way you'll get a discount. Also during the season, iRacing offers credits. So if you race 8 weeks out of the 12 and you complete 50% of the laps in those races, you will get racing credits. And depending on which series you're racing in, depends on the amount of credits. So one of the series offers only $3 credit. Another one will offer $4 credit. I think $4 might be the top, but you can earn a total of $10 credit each season. So that's $40 a year that you can earn credits, which would only make your membership at that point $15 for the year. So definitely take advantage of that. Race as much as you can in all the series that you can. Um, and you'll pay off that way. You get money back. Always buy in bulk, so it's cheaper. But yeah, so I'll have a description, a link in my description for a link to get started and sign up. So just use that link, and you'll be all set to go. So in the next segment, we are going to talk about iRating, safety rating, and the different license classes and how to upgrade. Okay, so let's talk about iRating, safety rating, and the different classes that you can race in. Now, when you start out, you're going to be a rookie, so you'll be in the rookie class. Your safety rating will be a 2.5. Now, to get out of the rookie class, you need to race at least 2 races or 4 time trials. Time trials are 30-minute segments where you run laps. You have to run at least 10 consistent laps without any incidents. Now, an incident is going off track, hitting the wall, spinning out. Uh, the cleaner you are, the better your safety rating is going to be. Now, with your safety rating, you have to the safer you race, the more it's going to go up. And when it goes up, you'll get to go from the rookie class to the D class, to the C class, to the B class, to the A class. And of course, as you go up, it's the more cars that you can race, the more series that you can race in. So once you get out of rookie, which is like pro stock, the street stock cars and the legends and oval, you can move on up to the D class and race more cars. So you'd start at rookie at 2.5. You do a couple races, keep your incidents down. So you're as long as you're racing clean, racing consistent, staying out of other people's way, and not hitting the wall or spinning out, you'll get out of your rookie class. Your license will go up to 4.0, and you'll get promoted to D class. And then the same thing with D class. The more you race, the cleaner you are. It'll continue to go up. If you have a race where you have lots of incidents, it'll drop back down, and then you just keep going. So your safety is a continual thing as you go with each race. And if you get to D class, you run enough races, you get back to 4.0. Then at the end of the season, you can get promoted to C class. And in that case, you can race even more races, get into more series. You can race in D and C classes and get more series that you want to race in. And of course, you can move all the way up to the pro level. If you're good enough, you can qualify for the pro races and compete for cash. Your iRating is how well you do and how good you are at racing. So iRacing tries to keep the competition as good as possible. We want to race against others. They're the same skill and quality racing as you are. So they have an iRating. And again, it's off of how you finish in a race. So you'll start out, I think it's like 1500 iRating or 1000 iRating, and you'll race with others with that same iRating, which will basically be a bunch of rookies that are new to iRacing that haven't done a lot of racing. It is difficult at times to get out of the rookie class because it's all a bunch of rookies, so that everybody's trying to learn the same thing. My advice would be to do a test session first. You can get in private test sessions by yourself and race as many laps as possible. Just get a feel for the car, understand how the car works, understand your braking points, your entering points, when you get back into the gas, etc., and just run clean, consistent laps. And when you can do that, when you can run at least a tank or two of gas, good and clean, then you might want to start going into races and seeing how that will help you out a lot. Be sure to qualify. That way you qualify up front, and you can stay out of the melee in the back, and then you'll move up your I ratings and your license levels pretty quickly. So as you improve and you finish, first, second, or third, your I rating is going to go up as you, depending on how many people and what their I ratings are in the session. So if there's 15 people in a session, their I ratings are going to range usually about 300 to 400 apart from each other, for like a range from 1100 to 1500, 1200 to 1600, somewhere in there. So, and then the number of your cars based off your I rating. So the number one guy is going to have the highest I rating, and the 15th guy, the last guy in the entry, the number is going to be the lowest I rating car. So if you're the 15th car and you win the race, your I rating is going to improve a lot. If you're 15th car and you only finish 10, it's going to improve, but it's not going to improve as much as if you finished first. So you see there's a fluctuation in how that I rating and how much it goes up. And that's I rating and safety rating. So the basic idea is to race clean, race good, and finish up front as much as possible. Just try to beat. The main thing is to beat your car number, really. Whatever your car number is, you want to finish ahead of that to improve your I rating. So the next segment, what I'll do is I'll log into the interface, and we'll go over what the interface looks like, how to get into different sessions, and what they are. Okay, so now I just wanted to do a brief overview of the web interface of once you get logged in, what iRacing looks like. So as you can see here, it kind of just gives you some news and updates, what's going around the iRacing world, different broadcasts of races that are coming up. You can see all the different Pro Series and things that are happening, news, events, and things like that. You can check here. You can see the current offers, as I was talking about earlier. You will find volume discounts. The more you buy, the better. Race participation. The more you race in series, the more credits you can earn, which will make your annual membership cheaper. And the most important thing on this page is right here. It says service status. Now, when iRacing does quarterly updates, and then they do hot patches during the season if they need to fix something or fix a bug or anything that they find that needs to be updated, they can do that, and they usually do it on like Tuesday mornings. It takes about an hour to do the update. It'll tell you need to download. Now, updates are included with your membership, so you don't need to worry about that. So when you log in and this is red, you just click a little button that says update. It'll download the new software for you and get you there. Now, with you just starting out, when you log in, it'll just say your system's not up to date and you need to install iRacing. Now, it may take a little while because there's a lot there to download, so it may take about an hour or so to download and install. So give it some time to do that. But it's just like install anything else. It'll ask you where to put it, how to, what settings you want, and basically click next through everything. The only thing different I did was I installed it on a different drive. I have a small SSD drive for my operating system, and then I run iRacing off of a different hard drive. But this is your main interface. Now what you can do from here, you can do test sessions. Test sessions are sessions that you get into by yourself, and you can run laps. So when you're a rookie, it might be best to do this. You can see you can drive any cars you want at any track, and you can set the configuration for certain tracks. Like this is Watkins Glen. You can run the cup layout, the boot layout, the classic boot, or the classic, and you can select time of day and the car. And you just begin a test session, and that session will last as long as you want it to last. You can be in there all day if you wanted to, and race by yourself. And then you go to the Race Now button, and iRacing has it'll tell you at the top what eligible series you're eligible for, and you can click on which series. This is oval, this is road, and then it goes down to dirt and dirt road, and then it'll tell you you're in an eligible series that you can't race in. So once you log into a rookie, it'll just show you your rookie cars, and you'll be able to see what you can and can't race in, what you can go into. And from here, what you can do, if you want to practice with others, you can see over here in the select a session, there's a practice session, and the server is based in the US. This is overseas. and this one is in the US as well. And you can see there's 6 people in this one, and there's 8 people, and then there's 13 people. So you'll go into a session with those people and race with others on track. It's always good once you've got a few laps on your belt in a test session to get into some practice sessions with cars, so you get used to running around cars. Now, all practice sessions, there's no I rating or safety rating into effect, so you can wreck, crash, and as much as you want. You still do have to follow regular racing rules. You cannot speed on pit road. You can't drive backwards. You'll be disqualified, and it will kick you out of the session. So just keep in mind, even though it's a practice, you still have to obey some of the rules. But your I rating and safety rating do not take account. Time trials. You can do time trials. You're in a session basically by yourself racing. Like I said earlier, you have to do a minimum of 10 incident-free laps, and the incidents are off track, spins, hitting the wall, anything like that will cause incidents. Now, uh, different infractions cause different amount of incident. If you hit a car or hit the wall, it can be 4x incident. Versus if you just spin out, it could be like a 2x incident. Or if you just lightly hit the wall or lightly touch a car, it'll be a 0x. It won't count. It'll just say, hey, you came into contact with a car, but it won't be anything. But so you need to have 10 laps incident free. The more of those laps you have, the better for the time trial, which will help with. This helps improve your safety rating. So this counts. Your I rate and safety rate all count. So a lot of people go into time trials to get out of rookies. I think you do 4 time trials, and it'll help you get promoted out of rookie into the D class. So that's a quick way out. The qualifying, there's no more qualifying. They built that into the race session. So when you're ready to race, you click on the race button for the car you want to race, and it'll tell you the different times they're racing. So you can see the next race here is 3:15. It's still early, so nobody is registered yet. Once you get in a race, it's about a 3-minute practice session, and you get a 5 to 10 minute 2-lap qualifying, and then followed by a race. Now the races are all different. They range from 15 laps all the way up to 150 or more laps, depending on the car and the track and the series. Now here you can do. There's more official race guides. You can actually see all the different series. You can click here and see all the different series in a row. It's kind of easier to see all these different. So you can see what's in the rookie. This is all rookie stuff. And once you get to the D class, you can move up to these cars and race. So you can get to the Formula Renault and race. I was looking for the Skip Barber car, but it looks like the Skippy is there. It is a D class as well. So a lot of people jump into the Skippy or the MX-5. MX-5 is a lot of fun to drive, and it's a very popular series. So you definitely get into that. It'll teach you a lot about road racing. And you can also watch ghost crew or spot races. So let's say like the pro drivers are racing, you can get into their session. You'll be like a ghost in that session. They won't know that you're there. You can watch the session, and if you want, you can actually drive in the session with them. Now, again, they will not see you there. You'll be a ghost. You'll be in your own little session, and you can race with those guys. Now the cars will go through you. You can go through their cars. Again, it's just a ghosting session, but it feels like you're in the real session with those guys, so you can race with them and see how good you are, if you can hold up to some of the fastest guys out there. You'd go here if there was a hosted race. On the next segment, I'll talk about these hosted races and leagues and teams. But from here, you could join a hosted race or host a race. You go to your leagues if you're in a league and find your league sessions. Time attack is you can race best lap. So you go and do some laps and try to beat the fastest lap out there. Store, you can buy cars, buy tracks. And so talk about your account. You can go and see all your results and stats here. And then the forum. The forum is a really great spot to be. I'll take you there. It has all kinds of information. You can meet everybody here. The best place is the hardware forum. If you're having trouble getting going with iRacing, if your hardware's not being seen, if your monitors aren't being set up right, if you have questions about any of that, you can do that there. The journal is just off-topic stuff, and you can see every car has its own form topic. So you can go into that car and check out like in I'll go to F3. So you can see they usually do these every week. So 2020 season 2 week 7 is at Spa, and they'll usually give you a rundown of what the race is for that week. And some people post setups. You can ask questions about setups, so you can always go and find that. It'll be whatever car you're running. It has its own little topic. And then settings. So the one thing you want to do when you get started before you race is you want to come here to settings, and you want to run this graphics config. You want to launch this, and it'll configure your video card for you. It'll configure your resolution and your settings and everything that you need. It'll configure your graphics setting and what's best for your monitor and for your PC to get going with iRacing. Now, I will log into a session real quick and show you some other things that you should look at once you get into a session. This will take a second to get into, so bear with me here. You can see how iRacing loads. It takes a little bit longer on mine because, like I said, I have an 8-year-old PC, so it's a little bit slower loading, but it's not too bad. It takes a couple minutes sometimes. And some of the bigger tracks take longer, like the Nürburgring takes a really long time. And of course, if you guys have any questions, any comments, any feedback, I would love to hear it. I'd be happy to help you guys with any questions you may have. Anything that you have, any questions, getting started, hardware, how to configure it, how to set it up, how to install it, whatever questions you may have, I'll be happy to answer them the best of I can. I've been doing this for about 8 years, so I can help with just about anything. So yeah, definitely give some feedback on this video. Hopefully it helps everyone. Get to know iRacing, get started, what it's about, what it looks like, and how it works. So we're going to get loaded here. So once you get loaded into a session, this is what it looks like. And then you can go into the garage and you can do your setups here. iRacing always has baseline setups that you can play with. High downforce, low downforce, medium downforce. The Formula Sprint Fix, they have a sprint series that runs the F3 that is a fixed series, so you can try that setup. Or you can have your own setup. You can go to the forum and download them and add them, and I'll show you where to add those in just a second. But once you're in here, you can go to options, and you'll need to configure all your controls. Now, once you log in for the first time, it'll say up here instead of practice, it'll say configure controls, and you'll just click that button. Or you can come over here and input calibration. You'll want to configure your controller. So you'll hit your steering button. It'll ask you to turn your wheel to the right, turn it to the left, center it, and that way it'll configure it. It'll know what kind of wheel range and what you're using to turn the car. And same thing with your pedals. You press your accelerator, your brake, and your clutch to get that. If you're using a gearbox, it'll ask what kind of gearbox, if it's standard shift or if it's an H pattern or whatever you're using to shift gears. And you can use, paddles or you do automatic if you want, if you're using a controller and don't want to shift or whatever, but you can use whatever buttons you need to shift up and down that way. You can also come to here in the graphics and configure your field of view. Now your field of view is what you see in your car, and you want as real as you can get. Now the best way to do that is to put this, there's a calculator right here, so you put in all this information here, your monitor width, your visible width excluding your bezels, how far you are from your monitors, and the angle between the center and side screens if you're running triple monitors. And it'll tell you what you should be running for your field of view. I've done this a couple times, so I've had to reinstall iRacing. So I just knew what it was, so I didn't use the calculator. But that's the best way to get started. You can set your performance for your video card here. You can set what's level of graphic. You see I'm not quite at the highest quality. You can hit advanced and click on the different details of what you want to do graphics. So if you're having trouble with frame per second in a race and your car is glitchy, it's bouncing back and forth, and you're not getting good in very good frames, you can go in here and adjust your settings. This is what it looks like inside the car. See, you only have one view. You're in the cockpit, and that is it. There's no riding on top of the car, on the hood, or in the back, or anything else. You are driving. It is a simulator, so you're driving in the car, in the cockpit at all times, and you cannot change that. There's camera systems and stuff. I might make another video on that. I just want to get you started for now. So we're going to exit out of here. What I'll do is I will show you. So if you download from the forum, you'll want to put in an iRacing setups and then the car that you downloaded. Now, if you don't see your car here, you'll need to start a session in that car. And then once you start a session and drive, then the folder will show up for that car. So if I downloaded from a car for the F3, I would just go to Delar F3 and I'd drop it in here. It's a .sto file, and you just drop it in here. And once you drop a file into here, you can just go into iRacing, go to My Setups, and load it right up. Now you can configure folders in here if you like. You could do folders per track. iRacing does support that, so when you go and pick up My Setup, you can go and click on the track. It's just like a file explorer, so you can go click on the track and then click your STO file. I just leave them all in one. I keep saying I'm going to organize it, but I haven't done it yet. But that's how you get your setup. So if you want to go to the forum, if you find a setup that you want to try, you can just download it right here in the iRacing, in the Documents, iRacing Setups folder, and then pick the car that you want and then drop it there. And one other thing I can show you real quick is you can paint your car. So if you wanted to customize your car, give it a different color instead of what the standard, I think standard's red, or it's the standard factory manufacturer car colors. You can go into here and paint it. This is the generic way of painting it. You see this is my Delara Indy car. You can go in and select different colors and palettes. You can change your car numbers and your wheels, and you can change the car numbers here. The colors. You can pick sponsors, which are iRacing sponsors. Basically, during the year, these sponsors do an event. So if you run their logo on your car for a full series, they will enter you into a drawing for free gear. So that's always something to look out for. That's usually in the forums, and which sponsor is hosting it. Just put their sponsor on your car for the 12-week series, and then you'll be entered to win some gear, and it's some really good gear. So we have some templates over here. You can select different styles of how you want the car to look, different paint schemes, etc. that you can try over here. Also, if you wanted to, if you know Photoshop or GIMP, you can download the car template. It'll be a TGA file, and then you can download that and use Photoshop or GIMP to open it, and you can edit it yourself there, and change the colors any way you'd like. If you did that, you would need to upload the paint back up. You would put the paint. Let me open my File Explorer here real quick. So you go to Documents, iRacing, Paint, and then whatever car you have, you drop it in here. So I've been racing the Delara. You can see all these cars and car specs. These are spec maps. The car and then the number after the car, that is their account number. So if you want to see somebody else's paint, you need to have this in your document. Now, if you're in a league, they'll usually give a paint pack and give you all the paint cars. The other way to do that is to use trading paints. I don't want to go too much into detail with all of that, but you can use trading paints, and you can go there. It's good to go there, and people upload paints there, and you can actually get the cars paint that looks like the real cars in the real world. So if you wanted the Red Bull or the Ferrari or the Accomplish's Monster car, you could download those templates and use in trading paints, and that way everybody uploads the trading paints, and it works with iRacing and syncs with iRacing. So once you log into a session, everybody's paints will be downloaded to your folder here, and you can see everybody's different paint schemes. Those are just some of the ways, but this is just the overall view. Again, you make sure you go to settings and set your graphics, and then once you get in to iRacing, you want to configure your controls. But yeah, that's the main thing here. The next thing what I'll talk about is the hosted sessions and leagues and teams. So stay tuned, and we'll get to that. Okay, so in this section, I do want to talk about hosted races and leagues races and teams. But before I do that, one other thing I wanted to I failed to mention in the last segment, about your I rating and safety rating. You can look at that up here in the top right corner. It'll tell you what license you have, and it'll give you your I rating as well. Rookie, the dirt. I really don't race any dirt, so there's nothing there. Uh, and I mostly race leagues, so um, but yeah, this is where you would find your license, what you're at right now, and what your I rating is. So hosted sessions. Now hosted sessions, your I rating, safety rating, none of that takes into account. It's a complete. It is not an official series within iRacing. You can go and host your own session, and you can invite people to it. If somebody wanted to race in a session, they just come under hosted and say join a race, and you can see all the different um, races and series that people have started. Now, some of these you have to be in a league to join. Some of them do require passwords. If you see the little lock, it has a password. If you just see the little steering wheel next to them, those are ones that you can hop into freely. Um, so somebody might, like, if a new car comes out or a new track comes out, everybody creates a session to go run laps in that car so everybody can lap together. Otherwise, because there's nothing official yet with that track and car, so in order to actually get some track time or to test it out, instead of driving by yourself, it's always more fun to drive with others on track. So you can host a session. You can do just a practice session, a 2 or 3 hour, 4 hour practice session, or you can set it to be a 30-minute practice followed by a 2 lap qualifying, followed by a 50 lap, 100 lap, or you can do it timed. If you want to do a 30-minute race or something, you can do that as well. And you can see some of these, like this one, um, Lernerville. It's in the dirt midget, 20-minute practice, 3 laps of practice, 35 lap race. Anybody's welcome. And here you can see all the different, it says pits taken. That means how many people are in the session at that time. So you see 6 people are in this session. This is the Indy Pro drivers um, practicing for their race this weekend at COTA. Um, and you can see that this one's, it's full. It's got 20 drivers out of 20 pits. This one's got 45 out of 52 pits. But you can just come in here and see any race you want. If you want to just go and have some fun and not be in an official series, you can come here and check for something you might be interested in running. Now, you do have to own the car. You do have to own the track before you can race on these. So make sure that you own the car or track before you jump into one of these sessions. And of course, you can host your own session if you want. It does cost money. I think a 2 hour session is like $1. And you can upload, you can use PayPal and upload, $10 in iRacing credits up to your account. That way you can host a session. It's not very expensive. It's like a dollar, I think, for a 2 hour session. So it's not bad at all. Leagues. Yeah, leagues do their own racing. Again, no I rating, safety rating is taken into effect because it's not an official series. It is within a league. So you can see, I'll go to the league directory here. This is the leagues I belong into, but I will take this off, and you'll see these. There's pages and pages and pages of leagues. Um, Now, if you go to the forum, there's a topic called private league and hosted racing. So these are everybody posts up their different leagues. If they're starting a league or a new league, or if they're looking for new members, they'll post it in here. It's a little bit easier to find instead of searching through all of this. Or if you know the name of the league, you can search for it right here. And then under here is league sessions. These are all the sessions that are created by your league that you can go race in when they're open. So like in the Lionheart Indy Series, they have a practice. It's tonight at 8 p.m. And it's a 120-minute practice. And at 8 p.m., this will turn green, and I can join. But I can't join until 8 o'clock. Like I said, though I rating and safety rate can take into account. Now, when you do leagues, you have to take into account your own points and everything. You do that manually. Um, but leagues are a really good way to get better racing at times. Sometimes you get some people in races that don't treat this as a simulator, but more like a game, an arcade game, and they just get in and they're zigzagging or they're wrecking. and it doesn't make it fun for others. So there's doesn't happen a lot. There's a few of those, but it can happen, especially in the rookie series. And we do have a protest system, so if somebody does that, just save the video and you can send it in to iRacing and protest. And then iRacing will take a look at it and see if it was intentional or not. If it was, or they're reckless, they can park them for a week or 2 weeks or a month, or if it's their first incident, it might be a week. If they've had multiple incidents, they could be set for a month, um, where they can't race at all. So definitely, if you're into that, if somebody's intentionally wrecking others, always protest. That is the best and only way to help fix that, to get the racing better within the communities. But league racing, it's generally what most people do. I league race and still do some of the official races, but I don't do a lot. Just every now and then, I jump into an official race if I want to. I always like to practice during the day with other cars. Racing, it just depends. Um, but yeah, the leagues are they're popular. They're getting more popular, and usually each league has its own Facebook page. It has its own web page, etc. So you can talk to everybody. They have their own Discord channels, so everybody can communicate. It's a big family. So it's a lot of fun. And then teams, you can join teams and race. So you do an endurance race. All three of you would join as the same team. Once you go into one of those sessions, it would ask you what team you're joining as. You would join as that team name, and then you all three would be in the same session, but you can't drive at the same time. You'd be swapping cars. So when you exit out of the car, you can hit driver swap, and the next team member will hop in the car and drive some laps, and then you can driver swap again. And that's how the races go. You could do driver just like a 24-hour race in real life. They have 4 or 5 drivers that race, and they swap. They race 2-hour stints or whatever, and they swap drivers. So you can do that. Uh, it's really a lot of fun. Everybody's looking forward to teams. It's in the sports cars, so definitely something you want to look at. Um, Endurance racing and sport cars is where you want to be, and that's what you are looking to racing in. Then definitely look at the teams and look at get going in those. And usually in the forum under each car, there's usually a topic for teams, or you can just ask for teams. Or generally, sometimes if you're good enough and you're winning races and your iRating's improving, they will come to you. So be on the lookout. But that's hosted races, leagues, and teams. Keep in mind, hosted and league races, no iRating or safety record into account because it's not an official series. Team races, it just depends. If it's an official series, it does take account. If it's a league race with teams, then it will not. But that's about it. That is all for iRacing and getting started. Hopefully, it's a good overview. In the next segment, I'll have final words. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It kind of a brief overview of iRacing, what it is and how it works. It is a huge community. You'll make friends quickly. Get quick answers, quick answers to any question you may have, especially in the forum. Great people out there, some really smart people. These guys have got some designs that are amazing with their sim rigs and everything. So if you get in for the cheap, get your little G29, clamp it to your desk, and go racing. You're gonna love it. And as you get going and seeing the forum, and especially the hardware forum, you're gonna see all the different things that you can do with your sim rig and upgrades and things that you can get. All the sim rigs, and I may do a video on some of the sim rigs out there that you can get into, from the cheapest to the most expensive, and it ranges from you know $500 all the way up to $60,000 and more if you want full motion and everything. So it ranges from everything. You have button boxes to help with buttons and configurations during your pit stops and things, and um, but it's really good. It'll get you hooked really quick. So if you liked any of the racing games, Gran Turismo, Forza, or the old NASCAR series races and things, or F1 races, um, you're gonna love iRacing. It's as real as you can get. It's a lot of fun. Strap into these cars and get to drive them and see what it's like. It's great. I've always loved racing, so this is a good way and a much cheaper way to do it. And you got a lot of camaraderie with people, especially get in the league. Like I said, it's like a family, and you get to race with those guys week in and week out, and you know that you have good drivers to race with, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm here. If you have any questions, please leave feedback, leave comments, leave feedback about the video. Is it good? Did it help you? Did it not? Does it need improvement? I know. Still a little shaky behind the camera, but I'm still getting used to that. New with my YouTube channel, so bear with me. I'm getting better with that. But please, if you have any questions, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and like. It helps support the channel. Also, I live stream on Twitch all the Lionheart races that I'm in, the IndyCar Challenge Series. We have a race this Thursday night, so the link will be below to check those live streams out. And also in the description is a link to sign up for iRacing, so you can click on that, get signed up, and I will see you on track.